Hello, my name is George Gallagher, and today my biofuel project is on algae, the green fuel of the future. So, the biological source and cultivation. Algae are tiny photosynthetic organisms, just like plants. They use sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water to grow, but they grow much faster. Some species can double in size in less than a day. Algae can be cultivated in two main ways. Open ponds, which are large, shallow pools exposed to sunlight and air. They're cheaper to build, but less efficient and more prone to contamination. Another one is photobioreactors, which are closed, clear tubes or tanks where everything is tightly controlled, light temperature and nutrient. These systems are efficient but very expensive. In both of these systems, carbon dioxide can be pumped in from industrial sources like power plants, helping to reduce emissions. It's a win-win. The algae grow faster and factories release less CO2. So how is it produced? How is the fuel produced in this? So step one is cultivation. The algae are grown using sunlight and carbon dioxide, forming dense green soups of biomass. Second step is harvesting. Because algae are microscopic and suspended in water, we need to collect them efficiently. Methods include filtration, centrifugation, spinning, and flocculation, where chemicals make the algae clump together. The result is a thick green paste. Step 3 is oil extraction. Algae contain natural oils called lipids. These are extracted from the paste using solvents like hexane, mechanical presses, or even supercritical CO2. This oil is very similar to vegetable oil. Step 4 is conversion. The extracted oil is converted to biodiesel through a chemical process called trancertification, where it reacts with methanol and a catalyst like sodium hydroxide. This creates clean burning biodiesel and glycerol, a byproduct. So what is the development status? So $350 million have been invested in algae fuel by ExxonMobil alone. It costs $7 to $10 currently to produce 1 gallon of this biofuel. The U.S. Department of Energy funded over 60 algae biofuel projects through its Bioenergy Technology Office. So are we using algae fuels today? The short answer is no. Algae biofuels are still in research and early commercialization stages. So what is the carbon footprint impact? One of the most exciting things about algae fuel is its impact on the planet. Since algae absorbs carbon dioxide during growth, they can significantly offset the CO2 release when the fuel is burned, creating a carbon neutral cycle. Also, algae don't require fertile land, so they don't compete with food crops, and they can even grow in wastewater or saltwater, reducing pressure on freshwater resources. In the future, algae farms could be placed next to power plants, recycling their CO2 emissions into usable fuel. So the economic impact. Economically, algae fuels are a double-edged sword. On one hand, they can create thousands of green jobs in farming, biotech, and fuel production. But on the other hand, the startup costs are very high, especially for photobioreactors and harvesting systems. Algae biofuel isn't ready to replace gas yet, but it's a strong long-term investment in energy independence and environmental health. So what are the public communication efforts? Despite its potential, most people don't know much about algae fuels. Organizations like the Algae Biomass Organization and the DOE are working to educate the public through websites, reports, and conferences. But to truly scale up, we'll need more visibility, more policy support, and a public demand for clean fuels like algae. So my analysis and recommendations. Based on what I've learned, algae-based biofuels offer a powerful, sustainable alternative to fossil fuels, but the technology needs more funding, better public communication, and a stronger government support. I recommend continued investment in algae research and programs, especially ones that connect algae growth with carbon capture and industrial recycling. So, plan of action. If money weren't a problem, here's what I would do. I would build multiple algae fuel production plants across the country. I would then invest in public photobioreactor systems to make it cheaper and more available. I would then launch public education campaigns about algae fuels to educate the public. partner with airlines, shipping, and the military to test algae fuels on a larger scale. Lastly, I would connect algae farms to factories to recycle CO2 emissions and keep the carbon footprint low. Thank you for your time, and this is my project on algae farms and biofuels.